In this lesson we're going to look at multiplying out double brackets but with negative numbers. So three rules we need to remember with negative numbers. If you're multiplying positive numbers together, of course you get a positive answer. When multiplying negative numbers, if the signs are the same, then you always get a positive answer. So negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. If the signs are different, then you generate a negative answer. For example, 4 times negative 2 would be negative 8. Negative 3 times 2 would be negative 6. So the signs are different, negative answers. Signs the same, positive answers. Right, let's do this then. Okay, so x plus 3 multiplied by x take away 2. So following the same idea as before, you start with x times x, which is x squared. We're now moving on to x times, we take this as negative 2. Okay, the takeaway there treats it as a negative, so it's negative 2 times x, which is negative 2x. We're now moving on to the 3, so 3 times x is just 3x plus 3x. And to finish off, it's going to be 3 plus 3 times negative 2. Signs are different, so it's negative 6. So x squared at the start, I'm now doing negative 2 plus 3. It's really important that you look at the signs there. This really is negative 2 and plus 3. So you need to see negative 2 plus 3, it's the same as 3 take away 2, and that's 1 plus 1x. And then I take away 6 at the end. So a bit of multiplication with negative numbers, and then a bit of adding and subtracting with negative numbers too. Okay, second one. Start again. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is x. You're now treating this as negative 4 times x, so negative 4x. And then negative 4 times positive 1, the signs are different, so your answer is negative, and it's negative 4. So x squared stays the same, the take away 4 at the end is going to be the same, it's just this 1x take away 4x. Well, 1 take away 4 is negative 3, so that goes to negative 3x take away 4. Okay, right, I'm going to draw my lines in to help me. Again, you don't need to do this, but if it helps, then do it. Do anything that can help. It's not cheating. So it's that times that, and then on the bottom, that times that, and that times that. So x times x makes x squared. X times negative 3, so that's negative 3x. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. And then we've got a negative 2 multiplied by a negative 3, sorry, which is plus 6. Signs are the same, so the answer is positive. Okay, so to treat this last bit here, we're really thinking of it as negative 3 take away 2. So you're going further into the negatives if you like. So I'm at negative 3, I'm taking away 2, that goes to negative 5 plus 6. Okay, 3 to go. So I'm going to go back to my pen and I'm going to draw in the wee arrows to help. That times that, oops, and that times that. And my green ones, I'm multiplying by the 3 now, so 3 times x and 3 times negative 5. Okay, so as before, when you're doing this 2x times x, think of it as a 1x. I do the numbers, 2 times 1 is 2, and x times x is x squared. So that's just 2x squared. Some people think it's 3x because they add them instead of multiplying them. Then you're doing 2x times negative 5, so that's negative 10x. Positive 3 times x, which is 3x, and 3 times negative 5. Signs are different, plus 3 minus 5, so that's minus 15. Okay, the bit in the middle, that's negative 10 plus 3. So I keep my 2x squared at the start. I'm thinking negative 10 plus 3, I go closer to the 0, so I'm going forwards in the number line to negative 7, and then take away 15. Okay, last two. So again, 6 times 7 and 6 times negative x. Don't be put off with the numbers at the front in this one. Just do it the same way round. So it's 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times negative x is negative 6x. And then you move on to the negative x here. So again, you multiply it with the 7 and you multiply it by the x at the back. So it's exactly the same technique, just the numbers are round at the start and the x's at the end. So the green ones, we've got negative x times 7, negative 7x. And then a negative times a negative, signs are the same, so that's a plus x squared. Now I'm just going to rearrange that to the form that we like. We usually like the x squares at the start and the numbers at the end. I still have to deal with this, negative 6 take away 7. We'll write x squared at the start. Just a wee note, if that was a subtract x squared, you'd have to put a negative x squared at the start and not a plus. Just something to note. Right, negative 6 take away 7, that's negative 13. And then this is a plus 42 because there's no negative at the front, so plus 42. The last one is exactly the same. Okay, so we'll do 8 times 2 and then 8 times 3x. Oops, a bit squiggly there. And then we'll do negative x times 2 and negative x times 3x. I'm trying to use a mouse here, so that's why it's going a bit funny. So 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3x is 24x. We're now doing negative x times 2, so let's take away 2x. And negative x times 3x. So again, just think of that as a 1. So negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. And then x times x is x squared, so it's negative 3x squared. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to leave the 16 at the front. You could put negative 3x squared at the start. I'm just going to leave it like that. 24x take away 2x is 22x, and then negative 3x squared at the end, just because it's a takeaway there. Quite often if it's a takeaway, we leave it to the end and not put it at the start. But you could quite happily do that and get full marks.